Alrighty, greetings all. Welcome back to another episode of the Carbines and Cantrips book club. This is the third episode of Larry Correa's Academy of Outcasts, covering chapters 26 through 40. Dude, this might be my favorite section so far. I'll hold off on that. What was your guys's, like, in this section? What stood out for you guys?
Man, it's hard to say because it was all so good. I love the, I love when he was starting to get an Academy of Outcasts together. Is clearly like he's starting. He is. I really actually, I think my favorite section is probably the fight section where he goes into his gladiatorial arena and bumps into a big bugbear guy
Yeah.
who loudly announces his earth spells before he casts them. I thought that was really good, along with the once more the Saint of Persistence stuff. That was just good. That was just good fun. That was very classic Korea writing too.
How are you guys saying his the lob's name? I've been saying Krachma because it sounds funny.
I'm not saying
Probably if it's just the funniest way to say it, then that's probably correct. Being familiar with Larry's work for a hot minute here.
Yeah. He also reminded, I don't know if you guys ever played the Mortal Kombat with this particular fighter in it, but there's like this big bulky earth dude that throws like boulders and stuff. His name's Tremor. That's who Krachma reminded me of a lot.
I know who you're talking about, but now I'm picturing the lob guy as Baraka.
I was reminded of a particular bad guy from I think it was Ninja Scroll was the anime that had like stone skin.
Yeah.
Because it was a very, like Ben was kind enough to point out, that it was a very very anime use of magic power. In that regards, that's kind of how he pops into my head is from an old '90s anime. No, I really enjoyed it too. I really enjoyed the gladiatorial combat that we got to see. The way that they use magic to maybe not die all the time was cool. And that we get a little bit of casual street violence. We get a little bit of that gritty, you know, we're gonna have you get beat up for entertainment and then be like, all right, bud, here's an ice pack, have a good day, kind of deal. I like that gritty undercity vibe.
Yeah, dude, my favorite. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I was just gonna say my favorite part of that whole like arena was the goblins, dude. Like their open racism against humans was so funny, and specifically that line where he's talking about his charm, and he's like, "What did you say? Oh yeah, that should stop 2 deaths worth of bullet, blade, or magic." And then Oz was like, "Should?" And the goblin was like, "Nobody's perfect." Dude, that was so fun. I love the goblins; they're the best. All the characters are the best, I guess.
I think Trax is still the best, but the goblins are pretty cool.
Trax is still the best. Got a middle name. He's just great. He kind of reminds me, and at least the way he's characterized, he kind of reminds me of I forget the character's name, but if you've seen Tower of God, the lizard bro, who calls the protagonist his buddy Turtles.
I have not seen that.
He's like
neither, but it sounds hilarious.
He's like this huge like lizard man warrior dude who keeps calling like obviously like stereotypical like anime protagonist. He's like, listen, Black Turtle, like I don't have time for your nonsense. Like, oh, your words confuse me, Black Turtle, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's called, what is it called? Tower of God?
Tower of God.
All right, dude. I'll put it on the list. Yeah, so good. Yeah, I'm wondering, like, with the like, I like the aspect of like the Academy of Outcasts and all the little, how each different one has their own way of being like an outcast or outcast. I forgot what the other word I was gonna say was, but misfit. That was it. raid I really like. Specifically, Acheron is like my favorite plane that we've seen so far. And the Death Elemental, not only was it just super rad to fight, but then like he escapes, and the Death Elemental is like, all right, well, I'll see you later, homie. Like, you're not escaping me. You gotta die sometime.
Yeah, the coldness of that line of like, nah, you all come back through here eventually. It's like, I've got a long memory. Was pretty solid. Yeah, that was a wonderful casual demonic coldness to it.
Yeah, I love that whole everything about the Death World. I love like the aesthetic, the monsters, the way that the element grows, like near death and whatnot. I also liked how the characters there that seem to populate the people that populate that realm, even though it's like the most dour and gloomy place, are kind of the most like noble that we've encountered, at least like, you know, statistically, like by and large, by the population size.
That section had a lot of humor to it to balance out how dour and doom and gloom the plane was. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of like, oh yeah, that's what he told you. Like the whole thing was, I don't know. I found it very funny. Their interactions, and it's like, dude, you're lucky I don't kill you right now. Like, get out of here. Like, it was very, like, there was lots of audacity, and it was entertaining to me.
Or like the suits of armor that are like powered by shadows. He's like, don't look at them. Don't make eye contact.
I appreciate how it seems that every time I'm moronically wondering, like, well, wait, like they got the plane of water, so that's blue. So like, what the hell is air? Like, what I wonder what color and elements like materials would be. It seems like Larry has an answer for that in like the next paragraph. Like as I'm just offhandedly, what is it? Like, but Azarian way earlier when she says it's clear, I'm like, oh, so that's what it is. I was just wondering what that was.
Yeah. My last thing on Acheron too is I really liked when, as far as you're talking about jokes, I really liked when Trax wanted to jump in like the river Styx. I was like, no, dude, don't go in there.
No, maybe not.
Yeah, but Trax had a lot of good one-liners in this one too. He had the what was it like? He was talking about how he got qualified as a monk or whatever his trial was, and Oz was like, "Do you think I could do that?" And then like he explains what he had to do, and Oz is like, "So probably not." He's like, "Yeah, probably not." Yeah. Probably not. And then the established dominance before he had him go rip off that dude's arm was great.
The whole thing was great. I mean, I always love the Death World for those things. They often tend to be kind of cheerful. They just have that. They're more aesthetic than anything else. Yeah. I would definitely rather be there than the Fire World. For sure.
The Fire World seems more like hell than the Death World.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, the Death World. Well, and it seems like you know when to run. The Fire World's just like, hey, surprise! You should have already been running. You should have been running 5 minutes ago, but I didn't tell you. So,
surprise! You have died.
Yeah. Like an Acheron, I could just be like cleaning black off of like a tombstone and listening to My Chemical Romance and having a great time.
No, I love the fact that he was also the perspective was, hey, we're an adventuring party going into the Death World, but he said, you know, in the backstory that was not mentioned, he spent a lot of his time. Oz spent a lot of his time guiding stupid groups of
adventurers.
He never got to
their own deaths. So the fact that he had just a moment of companionship to the funereal guy who was, just pulling along the river Styx, taking them to their place. He was like, "Yeah, I get this guy. I've been this guy.
I've been this guy, and now I'm the stupid adventurer."
Yes.
I love, and I wonder if Larry did it on purpose, but I love that Oz essentially has pocket sand spell. I know it turns into fire, but like basically what he's doing, and I love it. I wonder if that was intentional. Like he was like,
well, the funny thing is, the first time he uses it, at least that I remember, he's like, "Oh damn, I didn't mean to use that much," and then it seems like every other time he uses it now, he uses more and more. It's like- the first time was too much, and it just keeps going.
It's the only way to do it.
It's-
No, the whole section was very full of incident. You had the arena, like the nice cool arena fight. Then you had the random encounter with a bunch of university students, where you also got to loot tons of stuff. And then he had the
random, not so random.
right, the follow up. That's what I mean. Yeah, it was great, and you had all kinds of good foreshadowing for what was coming ahead. But the fact that it also got him richer and better off, and now he has a mystery wand and that sort of thing. Except for there was a second wand, but Trax accidentally ate it. I love that. You can have that one. That was a good thing too. And then they go to a death world, and then he goes and gets himself blackmailed. And then meanwhile, there's also learning magic, discovering the stuff. This was packed section of book.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the exchanging, like finding. We got to find a new wizard that has a new element, so we can exchange spells with each other, and like basically, not that they're the first ones to do it, because it sounds like the universities or the council kind of tries to keep a lookout for that stuff, if people doing it on their own, but like just doing it on their own, going around the system, and I don't know, it kind of makes you think of like how maybe in the real world, like colleges might be a little, depending on what you're going for. Can be kind of scammy, but then there's also some benefits to it. Like when he goes to the elf, I can't remember what it's called, the one with the W, it starts with the W. You go talk to the elf lady, and he sees like their apprentices like having a sweet like Earth versus Lightning battle, I think is what it was. It sounded like some Avatar level action. But yeah, he can kind of see how far ahead they are from him. And so I don't know, but you kind of get the idea that it's a scam and elitist, and they keep a lot of people out that might be able to learn something cool, and you can go learn on your own. But then there also are some benefits to getting into the school. So I don't know. I like kind of the leveled view he had of both sides of the situation.
Yeah, like the nuance of it.
Yeah. I also like
it reminds me of hacking. Like hacking was for a long time, as like especially like in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, there were plenty of like government agencies and stuff, and like schools that you could go to for white hat hacking or whatever. But a ton of the people that were getting into it were just like kids that pieced a PC together, and it's like,
I really like how the Academy of Outcasts have basically their school is in a destroyed ruin of an old mage's tower. Like it's even their building is an outcast of that world, which is great.
I suppose it's a great reminder to not get too cocky.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that one wizard that really thought he knew what he was doing and made like blow up his that's where we're learning. So hey, how about you don't get too far ahead of yourself?
Yeah. Well, I like how he actually tied all that, like all the ruins and stuff, and like because in the first part when he first gets down to the slums and he sees like the the stuff coming down and crushing other buildings as it slowly droops down. I like how like the elf mage, she kind of explains why that's happening and how the time realm being locked up is the result of that, because like there's no time magic to keep the spells immortal basically, so they are wearing down because there's no time element, which is cool. That's a really cool mechanic.
Well, and we have our what I would call our book 7 quest. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, okay, so this is what we're going to end up having to deal with,
Yeah, like this is
5 books down the road.
Game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the high level dungeon.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And that's like with the whole Adderlane thing and the Dardic revelation. I'm like, how is that going to play out? Like, one, who's trying to kill Dardic? And like Adderlane just seems like he's just a hitman. So I mean, I don't know if there's more to him than that. He's just trying to get a payday by killing this noble from Fogo. But I'm wondering if when Gaul shows up to kill Oz because he's looking to figure out who tried to kill Dardic, if that's gonna like come in and maybe Gaul's stronger than level 8 than what he said he was, and he gets in a fight with Adderlane, that'd be cool to see, but I don't know. So I'm wondering if like somehow Gaul ends up being on Oz's side when he shows up because of this whole weird situation and the assassination attempt on Dardic. But I don't know. I mean, you guys already read the rest of it, so I guess you guys can't really answer the question or make a guess.
Well, there is a classic setup though, which is you if you have a problem, then you have a problem. If you have two problems, then you have a solution.
Mm-hmm.
So that's and if you have a bunch of problems, then you have a really fun plot. So that's kind of the a lot of it is how to do it. That's a classic Dresden file actually. Like we have all the stuff. How do we figure out how we get everything kind of coming together at the very end?
Yeah,
deal with it, which is it's a cool idea.
Yeah. I feel like Adderlane, like the way he acts and like he's kind of like a rogue level 10. I don't know if like all level 10 or if there's more level 10s like him. The world's like really terrifying. Like that's a really terrifying thought to have like all these super weapons just like walking around with like no morality and just being cutthroats.
Well, that's like it kind of goes back to, and it's fresh in my mind because I rehashed the same argument with this friend the other day in a Discord call where we were talking about, I said like, the anti-mutant thing isn't completely analogous to racism because like a difference in skin color is like, yeah, that's unethical. But like these people aren't just a different skin color. Some of these people are walking nukes and also hormonal teenagers. Like, that's an existential threat.
Yeah. Well, even like Professor Xavier, at least in the movie, he like wrote his little thesis and it was like, because we're here now, the regular humans are going to go extinct, like comparing Homo sapiens to Neanderthals. So like he basically says like now humans are the Neanderthals and the mutants are the Homo sapiens. So you're also basically saying you're going to make people go extinct, which doesn't feel good.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be the good guy in that equation.
Oh man. Yeah, dude. What else you guys got?
Well, I wanted to throw this out here because I don't think we ever got back to it. But we were talking about how to pronounce Fogo. I think it is most definitely Fogo. And I'm going to tell you why. Because that is Portuguese for fire.
Yeah. I think I saw somebody say that in one of the comments.
Yeah, so I think that's... I don't know if we ever got back to that. But yes, us sitting around like a bunch of idiots, yes, it is in fact Fogo. Because
yeah, he's talked about like being part Portuguese a while. I remember him on a podcast talking about how the Portuguese brought like the pepper to everywhere.
I mean, it's in a bunch of his books, right? Like it's in Monster Hunter, and I just started.
That's
Hard
right.
Magic. It's in Hard Magic. We're in the very beginning there, at least. The old guys complaining about the Okies. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
All right. Yeah. So, like pretty much, I think it's just like the way he writes, but like, like a lot happens and you don't realize like, oh, like I got through like 20 chapters in like 4 hours.
Yeah.
But
and I think the chapters are short. But it makes you rip through them. Yeah. That's how I ended up reading the whole book. Was it's like I was like, oh crap, I'm halfway through this book. Like,
yeah, no, it reads real fast. I mean, I don't know what the total like word count is. I think Ben, I think you might have said what it was. 100,000 something.
I estimated it like 110 ish.
Well, it's like 400. It's 462 pages in like standard Kindle format. So maybe like 140 would be my guess.
I think the way it does, Korea does tend to add more pages by his style because he writes in a lot of he writes action, which means a lot more short, punchy sentences and dialogue. But it doesn't really matter. short for epic fantasy, but it's long for lit RPG.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is, I'm loving it. We didn't get to see it, but I really liked Azarin's description of Stormwalk. Like she's funny too. Honestly, all these characters are. I'm just loving like the whole cast is so good, but like she's so salty and like I don't know, bad mouthed. It's great, and like she's like she calls what does she call it? She calls like the Griffins. She says they're like assholes, and the Eagles are assholes or whoever. Like it's so funny, and like it seems like a way more cutthroat place than I would have than it seemed like maybe it should be, but yeah.
It makes me think that probably all of the planes are that way
Suck.
in some way. Like
Yeah.
there's something that sucks. Like it's there's not like don't get me wrong, between the two, I would much rather take the place that I can actually like spot what's trying to kill me and the ground doesn't do the job for it. Like that's the fireplace. The fireplane, like Fogo sucks. But I think all of them, because if you think about like Trax's description of like the water plane, that's it's an incessant predation. Like something's always trying to kill you. And he's like, yeah, this rudeness. And that's it's funny because it shows his thought process. It's like, well, that was rude. He tried to murder me. Like it wasn't like there's no shock.
Like, oh
There's no
my
shock.
God,
Yeah, it's like somebody looking at you and being like, "Hey, get out of the way, asshole!" Like it's not like you're not. I was like, "Well, that was rude. Well, I guess I got to kill him." Like, oh, cool, I can eat it. And Trax is more like, "Oh, cool, I can eat him now." You know what I mean? Like Trax, like it's. So I feel like the plane of water, aside from having way too much water, and that's a problem for humans in and of itself, is like I would like to not drown.
Yeah.
Everything being super predatory.
Yeah, everything feels super predatory, and I'm sure once we get a view of like the nature realm or the life realm, it's probably there's probably some nonsense. Those are probably like the worst people. They're probably terrible.
Yeah.
Like,
Or there's just like giant fucking predators everywhere, like
Yeah,
T-Rexes and fucking
like everything is
tigers
just
and shit.
mutant super predator.
It's like Kong. It's like Skull Island.
pretty much.
Yeah, I could see that. That'd be great, dude. Yeah, I feel like too with the water plane. I think just Trax's species' reputation suggests that it's a terrible fucking place because everybody seems to hate the shark people, like because they committed.
They're
genocide.
terrified of them.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's like, dude, did you ever talk to one? Just be like, hey, man.
I mean,
Hey,
well, like most people can't, and that's part of the problem. Because like him trying to communicate with you is like, oh, he's projecting like images of like he's like, I think he's trying to offer me rat flesh. He keeps putting these images of like dead rats in my mind.
I fucking love that part. I like the part where he goes to the water. This is the water school. I don't know. It's one school, and like the grandmaster lady comes out and has a chat with Trax and completely ignores Oz.
Yep.
Evan Rose in the chat. Glad you guys enjoyed this next section of the book. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, dude.
Or like when he's that one group of students is messing with them and Trax is asking like, oh, can I eat them? And like the one random student that could hear him was like, oh, we shouldn't mess with this guy.
Yeah.
He's like, let's leave him alone.
Oh no, that was great. The one smart guy who ran away.
Yeah. Just like, you know what? Maybe not.
He had the most sense of anybody they interacted with that entire time.
Yeah.
As Oz said, including himself.
Yeah, and I liked it when they he was there. Him and Trax are gonna get jumped by that school and like their hired goons, and then like he basically starts. The more Oz talks, the more the guys like start to like, oh dude, I don't want to fucking deal with this. They start just peeling off, and then Adelaide in the back. He's like, you might want to get it started. The longer this guy talks, the less guys you're gonna have.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that established dominance line killed me, and then I wasn't expecting him just to straight up. I mean, I guess I should have because he's Trax, but dude, just rip that kid's arm off, and then oh my god, at the end where he tourniquets it and just like dips out on him, that was such a great scene.
Trax is simply the best.
Yeah, yeah, he really is. He's awesome. And I mean, Crotchmaw, like, it seems like their party has 2 pretty big heavy hitters now. Except Trax can't cast magic, but he's got telepathy, and he can swim really good.
Yeah, he's a like 8-foot shark man. Like he doesn't fucking need magic.
Yeah, I was about to say. It's the speed.
His magic
though.
has scared the shit out of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the speed. Yeah,
It's the speed. It's like something that he's got Brock Lesnar syndrome. Something that big should not move that fast.
He's
Well,
like,
think about it, he trains in the water all the time, so he's fast in the water. He should be even faster out of the water.
he's like, oh, I'm not burdened by the weight of water. It's like Dragon Ball Z. He's like, oh,
When
I
they
trained
take
under
off all
10
the
times.
Yeah.
I trained under 10 times gravity. I'm used to pressures far greater than this.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah,
dude.
Goku dropping off his weighted boots and gi.
This is an extended argument for Aquaman being valid as an inclusion in the Justice League.
Hey.
Yeah,
He's my favorite superhero. I love Aquaman.
Aquaman is one of the few superheroes that can go hand to hand with Superman and be fine.
I think it depends on what era of comics, because I think when he first came out, he probably wasn't very good. But
The whales, guys.
It was like in the
whales. Sorry.
What was like in the 80s when they figured like, oh, he lives in the bottom of the ocean. He's probably really strong to withstand all that pressure.
Pressure.
Yeah.
No, gritty. Like one hand is a hook. Yeah, gritty hook hand, long beard, long hair. Aquaman is best
dude.
Aquaman. Yeah.
Yeah, Justice League Aquaman, JLU. I like the New 52 Aquaman. I think from that like comics run, I really liked him in that.
Oh yeah, when he cuts his hand off to save his kid.
Yeah.
It just shows up one day and he's like, "Where is it, Warren?"
Fucking Orm, dude.
Man, Aquaman's still on business in that old Justice League cartoon.
Yeah.
We touched on so speculation time. We've kind of touched on how shitty every plane really seems to be. How unimaginably shitty is the time realm going to be?
Well, the ultimate evil is like hanging out behind the door, so it's probably really bad, dude.
the shittiest of the shitty.
The worst thing imaginable.
No, because all the other realms they try to kill you when you're there. They don't try to kill you when you're not there. The time realm tries to kill you all the time, even when you're not there.
Also get out and just destroy everything.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's also the thing of like I can see a scenario where we get to that like go see it eventually, and we're like, in hindsight, Fogo is actually still worse than than the time.
I think it's cool that the elves came from the time realm. That's a nice touch.
Yeah,
That is a nice touch, and another arrow in the elves are shitty quiver.
Oh man.
I feel like we're gonna find out that there's some other way to the time realm. That there's some other way to travel the realms. Period. Because it would be really, I mean, just in a magic system like this, having only one way to make that crossing is just kind of weird. And I think that's kind of what we're getting at with the pirate, whatever his name was, that had
Inferno.
The Inferno people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ended up killing Oz's family. Ended up wrecking his barge. I think that dude has some kind of way to move around besides the gates, and that's why they never catch him. Is because he's got some other way to do it.
That's a good point, because there hasn't really been established yet. Air kind of lets you hover, but there's not really been established yet how teleportation happens. And that's a time place would also make sense as a teleportation, like space manipulation place too. So that would make a lot of sense for the source of it.
The secret eighth realm, space.
Well, I mean, they kind of. I don't know if it comes up again in the rest of the book, or if we figure out they're behind the Dardic assassination attempt. But The elf like talking about the time cult. So yeah, and I don't know if the Inferno guy was like she's like, yeah, he's part of the time cult, or if it's just kind of maybe he is, maybe he's not. I can't remember what it said, but yeah, I could see the time cult having something to do with maybe some kind of plane shift. And they also mentioned people tend to live on the borders where the different realms kind of bump up against each other, which I don't know. I feel like maybe that might suggest maybe there is.
You could just walk
You
from
just
one
walk
to
across, dude. If you want, I mean, it's probably super hostile, but yeah, you probably die.
I mean, you probably die just by being in the realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emperor Bless in the chat said, once again, the elves fucked everything up. Elf racism is valid and right. Amen.
That is the standard of all fantasy realms.
Yeah.
I mean, the only good elf really is Frieren, so.
Yeah. Although, like I said, I really, really enjoyed the goblins' racism toward us. That I was hilarious, dude. I loved it. He said, "Don't steal my charm."
High Elf Archer from Goblin Slayer is also cool.
Yeah,
And the chick from Lodos War. Okay, some elves are okay.
Yeah, there's some.
Legolas is a good guy, dude. With the classic OG.
Yeah, he's kind of a jerk, but yeah,
It's a little snooty.
he fought on the right side, but he was kind of. There's always a little bit of dickheaded arrogance there.
Yeah. I feel like Gimli made him cooler.
I feel like Legolas doesn't actually address Frodo because he doesn't know which one Frodo is.
They all look the same to me.
All these damn hobbits. All these damn hobbits.
Like really, the only time he addresses Frodo is when he says, "You have my bow," and then anything else that he says to Frodo, he's addressing the group.
Yeah. I love I never realized it until I saw like somebody like posted a meme about it, and it was there's only like one time in the whole trilogy where two females speak directly to each other, and it's like Eowyn talking to a little girl at a like dinner table. Like I don't remember what she said, like offered her food or something, but that was it. I was like, that's a crazy stat. I guess that makes sense since most of the characters were dudes.
And most of the characters are dudes, and I mean, like Galadriel just kind of sits in her glade or glen and does whatever.
Yeah, but even then, she's only talking to dudes. She's not talking to any female.
Yeah, she was talking to dudes. Yeah, she didn't have anything to say to Eowyn.
Yeah. Eowyn and Arwen, they could probably chat.
Yeah, Eowyn and Arwen probably got some shit they could talk about. Sure, Arwen is. When I saw that movie, Arwen definitely influenced my taste in females.
Fair enough, dude.
Well, I think it's. I had somebody mentioned this week. It was funny that Tolkien always used the terms the bow of the bow of Legolas, the fear of Legolas, the leap of Legolas, because he refused to be improper with his English, but he also didn't want to say Legolas's.
That's a nice little workaround.
It also has that properly mythic tone
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a legendary item instead of just like the bow he happens to be using in that instance.
Right, because you can't say Legolas's bow. Just too many sibilants.
Oh man, that's a joke I'm gonna have to add into my trailer park elves now. Dang it! Yeah, I got my list here. I got the bow Legolas. It was only $59.99 at the
Walmart. Yeah, dude. Well, we haven't really talked about Neve yet, the dwarf protector of Zarin. She was interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I don't really have much to say about her because she's kind of just was, I don't know, a tether for Zarin for a little bit, and then she's like, "All right, leave me alone." She's like, "All right, peace." But I don't know. Maybe she'll come back. I don't have much to say about her, I guess.
She represents dwarves often represent the stolid, basically the conservative. This is what the establishment is wherever they're from. It is kind of cool that there was sky dwarves. because that's not usually a combo you think
It's
of.
not usually what you think of when you think dwarves. You don't typically think things in the air. You think they're the dirt.
Yeah.
Although
the only place they
occasionally
live
on a
is the
boat.
mountain, though. That's the only like livable place in the air realm, I guess.
yeah, I mean, although I was going to say my dwarves in my settings, I actually in my D&D stuff, my dwarves actually typically live on kind of cliffs and a lot of mountain stuff. It's much more on the mountain than the mine. And so they have almost Adobe style cities that are high up on mountains because that seems like a very dwarf thing to do too.
Yeah.
So it
All-
fits.
All I could think of with like the floating islands and everything like that, and you said sky dwarves, and it was like they delve too deep, and it's this dude like digging along, and all of a sudden he's
Oh god.
like he just Wile E. Coyotes out of the fucking mountain.
Yep. Pretty much.
He does like that Looney Tunes thing where he doesn't even realize that he's dug out of the mountain for like several seconds, and then he just holds up a little sign that says "help."
Pretty much. That's the first thing that popped in my head. It was like the sky dwarves, and I was like, they delve too deep. Like, every dwarf learns featherfall is like part of their emergency training.
You got just a charm on their chest, like a ripcord. You got to pull it when you start falling.
Master parachutist dwarves.
Yeah. But in the air realm, like where do you go? And you just fall forever, or
I guess you fall
transition to the earth realm?
I guess you fall until you hit something else.
The plane of fire, the earth realm.
Oh god.
No, that's a whole nother level. That's where the air realm gets terrible, is that you fall off in the wrong spot and you just fall until you starve. Or die of dehydration.
Just a perma air.
Yeah.
A barge in the fire realm was destroyed when a dwarf fell from the sky realm at terminal velocity. He'd been dead for over a decade.
It's like space.
Yeah.
You just
Gotta watch out for
keep
rogue
going.
meteors and corpses. Oh.
The frozen corpse of a dude who's been circling the sun for decades is finally taken out of space station.
Who can say how the planes work but the gods?
I'm telling you, man, at some point I am going to write about that manhole cover, like taking out an alien spaceship somewhere, and the aliens showing up and being like, which one of y'all?
Classic. I feel like with Azarin, is she like the opposite of Ariel? Instead of being a mermaid that wants to go on land, she's an air lady that wants to go on land. She doesn't want to do what instead of being a king, I guess her dad's like a famous general. I don't know. I'm interested to see more about her backstory.
Instead of Ariel, she's Ariel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ariel.
Yeah.
I mean, the name's kind of similar.
Yeah, so that's true. I guess that means she is the Disney princess of this particular setup.
Yeah, she didn't want to get the arranged marriage. So you got like the Aladdin trope there. Hit all the boxes.
She's much cussier.
Dude, I love her language. She talks shit about like griffins and eagles all the time. It's so funny.
Like, oh, fuck you. Oh, fuckers. Oh, like, just like potty mouth.
What is it when they go to the death realm and she just like completely whiffs her shot? That was a great scene too.
She saved the day at the end, though.
Yeah, got the loot up in the tree, dude. Yeah, I'm really like all the characters. So this whole section was just great. I really like the death magic. So I liked his little, obviously the darkness spell, but his little like spider thing, and like he like overshoots it and it goes into the crowd. There's like spiders crawling on people's hair. That was great, dude. Yeah. What you guys got?
Well, I kind of like that's kind of in the death realm, but the fact that the economics of this whole system, this whole setup, are very adventure-y, and so it's going to lead to some good storytelling. It gives them all kinds of opportunities for great storytelling. because there's often a problem if you're going to do any kind of progression-y kind of story where there's a certain point, there's, book 3 or whatever, the person is incredibly rich, has acquired everything they need, nothing's troubling them anymore with regards to the simple economics. But this Academy of Outcasts is clearly a bunch of people who are desperately kind of scrape together whatever spare cash they have, and they're going to spend it all on whatever element they can. That's a very cool pressure to add.
Yeah,
I think it also helps with like the scaling, because like with the setup they have right now, there's only so quickly they can progress. And like, yeah, they'll probably progress a little bit faster every book, but not at a rate to where it's like book 3 and they could easily solve the problems of book 1.
yeah.
Like book 3, maybe they solve book 1's issues a little more easily, but not like it would still be difficult.
Well, they just need more of it. They're very hungry for dust.
Yeah, but also like with the economics of like how much it costs to get the elements, and then like the danger of learning new spells, and you have to go find someone that's willing to trade with you. So yeah, it's not. Yeah, I like the limitations he's imposed on his characters as far as how fast they can grow.
Well, and I think that there's going to be, you hit a ceiling doing that. Like there's only, because the people that are walking around and willing to trade spells like that, they only have these like low levels kind of spell things going on. And Oz has shown that he can pump like a more magic into something. Like you can always throw more red at it. But there's gonna, like, we saw the kids in that fight, and the level of, and not to spoil things, fights that'll happen later, the level of magic is just totally different. And but it's with the same base parts. So there's some level of skill and manipulation in there that you're never going to get if all you're doing is just trading level 1 stuff with somebody. So at some point we have to integrate somebody with a higher power structure that is more skillful and can work bigger workings.
Yeah.
He was also smart not to include a life mage or whatever they're going to be called. Like there is in this world, in this universe, magical healing, but it's not something that is easily acquired by his own little group of outcasts. That's a good idea.
Damn it. I forgot what I was going to say. Dang it. I always do that.
I mean, I feel like with what he established, like the very beginning, it seems like there will be some level of like Charles Atlas, like, working your ass off is going to get you more results. So my prediction is that, like, even as he advances in rank, the thing that's going to give Oz an edge is that he understands and has mastered some more fundamental parts of like the way the magic system works than some of these more advanced users have. Like they might just breeze past.
He's gonna be like when Pikachu learned all of his like agility moves and was able to beat Raichu.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a great analogy.
Man. Millennial! Ho!
It's like the I think it's a Bruce Lee quote where he says, like, not the one guy who knows 1,000 kicks, but the one guy who's done one kick 1,000 times. Like,
yeah. No, that's that they're trying to teach themselves, and when you do that, you screw up a lot, but you also innovate a lot. Like when you're literally bringing stuff down to pieces and working with that. Stuff like that happens a lot in martial arts. There's it's like, hey, we're all studying the same martial arts, but then you start mixing stuff together and you get these, new people that come around and they've got some flair for something that you never thought to use it that way, and all of a sudden the entire game changes. You see that in the UFC. Like when it first started, it was style versus style, and now at this point, everyone trains a little bit of everything, and they're finding new and inventive ways to use that. So I do agree that I think there's going to be some cool, like the street kids are going to know how stuff that the academy masters are like, hey, I never thought to try it like that.
Yeah, well, they all seem like really like set in their ways, right? They're super protective of their formulas or whatever, and they take a lot of pride in that kind of stuff. So I can see them being like very resistant to like innovation and change. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good prediction. I did remember what I was going to say. So we were talking about, I think it was the first stream for this. We were talking about how I think Tyler, you said you liked how it's kind of like Oz's goals are kind of low stakes. Like he doesn't want to like prevent the end of the world. He just wants to kill this elf as is only right because he's an elf and other stuff and free his family and whatnot. But,
he wants to free his family, but also fuck this guy.
Yeah, but now I'm like we learned about this ultimate evil, and the council seem like they're really effing things up for his ambitions of becoming a wizard. So I'm like, are we going to see some kind of like rebellion against the council as they try to form an academy, and maybe the academy tries to get stamped out? Or are they going to try and like kill the time monster so they can get the time element back and fix the magic? I don't know.
I feel like on some level, you're like, look, we got these setups for the future. That's a tomorrow problem.
Yeah. Right now we got to deal with Adderlane.
Yeah. Right now we got to deal with this.
Yeah, they really threw a wrench in his plan. I didn't see that coming, honestly. It kind of. I was curious who that guy was, that was like the stranger that was following him around. I did not see that coming, although I probably should have, because we're trying to figure out who tried to kill Dardic. But yeah. Did it surprise you guys?
I figured that he would be some kind of agent in the process, which is kind of true and kind of not. But I didn't expect him to be the, like, how can I put this? Adeline's an interesting character because feels like he could get it done himself whenever and just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's a very, like, he's got a supervillain complex going on where it's like, oh yeah, well, I'm just going to go hire these clowns to take care of this when I could just mop it up whenever I want to. Kind of feel.
He's like 1987 Shredder. He keeps sending other people to fight the Ninja Turtles, and he just kind of sits in a room and yells at a computer.
Honestly, I thought for a little bit that he might end up being some kind of mentor, because that's another very martial arts thing. Like the first time I showed up to the school that I trained at the most, the MMA gym I trained at the most, and my coach looked at me and he was like, "You wrestled, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, well, how were your shots? And I was like, "Oh, I was a heavyweight. I throw people. I don't do a lot of shooting." And he's like, "Cool, well, jump in here with Clay." And Clay'd been training like 4 years longer than I had. It's like, yeah, so jump in here with this dude that's way beyond your capabilities and just literally just threw me in the fire. Just see what I knew and what I didn't know. Which is a story for another day. Spoiler alert, I got my ass kicked a lot. But it was my point being is there was a moment where it looked like he was like, cool, I'm going to throw these goons at him and see how he does. And if he handles that well, then I'll be like, hey, kid, want to join the Outcast Academy? And it was been like, oh, okay, cool, that would have made sense. And then instead it's like, hey, kid, I'm the super villain here, and I just really like seeing you sweat. So, here's some more problems to deal with, because I'd rather stand here and chew tobacco than handle this myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for this last stretch of 10 chapters, which is going to be really short in this book, but I really want to see how it wraps up and see how the next books. When does the next book even come out? I don't even know.
It's already on pre-order. Yeah, it's already on pre-order, but there's a little bit to it. I'd look it up, but I have y'all on my phone.
All right.
It's Magic and Bullets, or Bullets and Magic. Yeah. One of those.
Yeah, I've seen the cover. The cover looks sweet. I can't wait to read it. Yeah, I think. Is there anything else on here? You guys got anything
Yeah,
else you want
Magic
to
and
add?
Bullets, by the way, isn't coming out until May, so
Okay.
it'll be a while yet. But that's
Yeah.
fine.
That's a stretch. I mean, yeah, it's already done. I think he already finished it. So
That's
oh,
fine.
nice.
I'm willing to leave one of my KU spots open for Academy Outcasts.
Yeah, I'm loving. Dude, I love this
So,
series so far.
some other series I was reading just ended, so I was like, okay, I have a slot freed up anyway.
Yeah. Is there? Have you guys read a lot of other progression fantasy? I've been meaning to start Dungeon Crawler. Daryl. Yeah.
Carl.
Carl. Yeah, that's it. Dungeon Crawler Carl. That's hard to say fast. I've been
Yeah.
meaning to start that. I listened to the sample and it cracked me up, and I really want to get into it.
It is really good. And that's like, I don't think lit RPG is really mainstream, but that's like the closest to a mainstream lit RPG is the best way I can put that. And Matt deserves every bit of it. He's a great guy. I've been blessed to meet Matt multiple times to get to hang out with him at like Dragon Con and stuff like that. But it's a really funny series. That's one of those like our kind of like dark humor. It gets embraced a lot, and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Like it's a fun series.
Yeah. Yeah, I the sample like ended right after he was talking about like cat people, and he's like, you know what? Fuck cat people. And I was like, yep, I can listen to this, dude. So it's lit RPG, it's not progression, so it has like the actual like levels and stat sheets and stuff.
Yeah, the short version, without spoiling anything, is that all of humanity gets thrown into a dungeon run by aliens, and so the aliens put on this intergalactic dungeon show, and if you die, you die. Like it's for real, death, for the most part. And so they build this crazy, incredible labyrinth dungeon, and you go through picking your character, and you can change your race, and you can do there's all kinds of stuff that you unlock. And then the challenges get more and more insane. But yeah, there's levels, you get stats, there's character sheets, all that.
Well, okay, so that's like straight up lit RPG. Is there any other progression fantasy that you guys have been reading that you would say is
I
like that?
mean, I've read the occasional. It never really gripped. It never really gripped me. This is actually a good. It's a good sign when something that's not in your usual genre you can really enjoy. That's
Yeah.
kind of a compliment to the writer. And I'm going to give the compliment here. This is not usually something that grabs me, but I've been really, really enjoying this book.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, well, I don't know if I have any. You guys have anything else you want to add to tonight's section?
No, I mean, I think it's good. I can't wait to get through this last part of the book.
Yeah. Is there anything from last section you wanted to bring up, Tyler, that you didn't get a chance to say?
Yeah, Trax had a hell of an introduction. Really, like he kind of stole that section for me. Like I'm just like, man, this dude is just the best. And
Yeah.
like Arwen's introduction was pretty funny. But yes, Trax is by far like the best part of that section. It was just all right, I'm just walking here with my 8-foot shark buddy. You're just like asking me if you could eat people all the time.
Yeah. I like especially love you already mentioned it when he like projects the sharing the rats into that guy's head. But also when he first like shares or he like takes Oz's jerky and then like is introduced to the concept of sharing and then goes and gets a rat
Gets a rat leg and he's like, no, I'm good.
Thanks for eating my jerky, dude.
Those poor ratlings, man. I think they're the thing that scares me is I think they're sentient.
Like,
you know what I mean? Like I think they're like some kind of people. But man, just no hope, not a chance. Like
I'll track around, dude.
They're like,
Not
yeah,
track.
we think we saw him eat. You think you saw your friend there eat a few of the pigeons in this? He like looks. He's got like feathers on his basket hat. And he's like,
Yeah, I wonder if Borg is going to come back in this last section or not. Because he seemed like he was kind of a powerful mage. I don't know. He's probably not level 10, but I don't know if he said what his level was. But I want to see Borg again because he seemed like an interesting character.
He seems like Borg seems like if I had to rate him, he'd be like disc 1 final boss tough, but not like overwhelmingly powerful in the long run.
Yeah. But who knows? He's like the commander of the watch, so he's got resources too. So who knows?
Yeah, he's got. That's the thing that like, I think like for other writers, it's like a good example of like even in fantasy settings where like your villain can be like very personally powerful, but like they can have other resources too. Like they don't need to. Like, yeah, I just made fun of Shredder for always sending other people to go fight the Ninja Turtles, but that's part of his powers that he has other people to do that.
He's got a whole clan of ninjas, dude. They got the Foot Clan.
No, he's got the Foot Clan. He's got Bebop and Rocksteady. He's got weird dudes that Krang sends him. Like, he's got all sorts of stuff going on. Like, he doesn't need to go punch the turtles himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, your villain having resources outside of like their immediate like personal sphere is always nice, I think.
I think that's why Lex Luthor is such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because it's like, he can't like physically overpower Superman in almost any circumstance, but he's untouchable because he's like, he's got all this money and connections, and
that's
like he can
the
send
thing. He's
people to
reverse Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could just send.
Yeah.
Except he doesn't punch things himself. He just sends other people to go like, because like he's like, what? Do you think I'm going to try and fight Superman myself? No.
No, well, and that's the thing. Is
Because-
like Batman's rich. Bruce Wayne is rich, but Batman goes and punches like street thugs in the face. Lex Luthor is rich and instead uses it to be an absolute menace to Superman, who's super physically powerful. Like he's reverse Batman. Yeah.
Oh man! I also really like Quincy Jones. I think is his name is the voice actor, and he's a great guy. Great voice actor. Mr. Krabs.
Clancy.
Money.
Yeah.
Clancy Jones.
Yeah. He's been in all kinds of things. He was in Starship Troopers. He was in
Oh yeah. Dude.
Detroit Become Human. Like I hear his voice in like random stuff. I'm like, hey.
He was in Daredevil and Punisher. The shows.
Yeah.
Hold on, time out. Are you telling me that Sergeant Zim is Mr. Krabs?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. All right. I think his last name's Brown, but yeah, I got you.
Oh, Clancy Brown.
Yeah, Clancy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where I got Quincy Jones from, but close enough.
Yeah, Clancy Brown. Yeah. Your enemy can't push a button if you disable his hand.
His hand. Yeah, no, he's a legend. I never connected that was Mr. Krabs. It never hit for me. That's funny.
I feel like he probably does a whole lot of like characters that I haven't even realized was him. But, yeah.
If I look up his credits, it's probably absurd because he's been doing acting and voice acting roles forever at this point.
He's got a dang good voice, man. Yeah, dude. Well, I don't know if I got anything else for this section. I like I said, I loved it. I think for me, like the characters are like, which I guess is for every book, but for these, like I love these characters. They're so funny, dude. But it's like it's funny, but it's not taken away from like the serious parts, which is great. And the levels or the setting, the levels, the setting.
The stages.
Specifically Akron. I loved it, dude. That was such a cool spot.
It's just all good. It's very well done.
Yeah.
And to me, like it is nice to have like these settings are hostile, but they're not like so. I know we bring up Hand of God a lot, but they're not Esteban. Yeah, very memorable book. The setting, none of these planes, if possible, except for the Timeless one or Fogo, are like Hand of God setting bad.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you misbehaved or took away. I mean, the Timeless one probably like, oh, you misbehaved, I take away your time or whatever, your ability to
just turn
make spells last forever.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, send Ray to the Deadlands and see how long he lasts. He probably thinks he can hack it because he comes from Akron. Go hang out in the Deadlands, bro. Go to the Hellmouth.
Go to the Hellmouth.
See if you go for a swim, dude. Oh, such a good book. Have you guys read Yuval's new short story, Escape from Hades? Which is like a part
yet.
one. But I think it's going to end up being like a novella because that was part one. And it definitely ended. You were like,
Oh.
something was about to happen.
Oh.
So I think part two is going to be coming down the pipe. Dude,
Yeah, I have not read that yet.
it's not as like mind effing as The Hand of God. It's creepy and mechy and it's awesome. Yeah, recommend. If you like Orders of Magnitude, I would say go read. I mean, it's a short story, so it's not like it's a huge commitment. But yeah, okay. Well, I guess we just have the last 10 chapters. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Cool.
I don't know if we're going to get in
It's
contact
gonna be
with
good.
Larry. We'll see how that goes. That'd be cool if we do, but if not, oh well. He's a busy guy. I
I'll-
understand.
He's a busy guy. He's got a lot going on.
Mhm.
I'll ping him one more time, just to be like, hey, we're doing the last one this Monday, kind of deal.
Yeah, I commented on because he shared our stream, so I commented on there. Hey, we'd love to have you on, but he didn't respond to that. So like I said, I'm sure he's busy, but yeah, we'll see. It'd be awesome. But thanks, chat. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Have a good
Thanks,
one.
everyone.
Later,
Take care, guys.
Later, boys.
Peace.